Hi. Do I look pissed off? I am. God, I just lost another video, but you guys are worth it. You're worth it. I'll repeat it. This is Sir David Bard. Hey, I'm getting a B-A-R-D, so you can call me Mr. Bard. The police pull me over and go, "Are you the new Caribou Bard?" I am. Look at that picture. God. Here's a video I have to do over. I have to do over. It is so outrageous that it pisses me off that I was a Mormon before I resigned for 50 years. And these clowns, the First Presidency, or the Three Stooges, as I call them now, just take advantage of me and the rest of you. I can't believe I was this stupid. I can't believe it. I have 2 master's degrees plus other postgraduate credits. What the hell was I thinking? Why didn't I check? Well, the internet wasn't there. Most of my life, the internet wasn't there. And I've said many times, the internet is the kiss of death for the Mormon Church. Well, here's where I'm going to report again, because it does piss me off. Now, all the Mormons that are watching, look at my face. It doesn't lie like your leaders do. President Monson, go look it up. In the General Conference, he's got so much dementia now, he's worse than me. And he's not a bard. He just copies other people's stories. I tell you my stories. Anyway, he said in General Conference that he had a second home in Midway, Utah. I know Midway very well. I didn't buy a house in Midway because I couldn't afford it. Beautiful. God, winter wonderland. It's unbelievable. It's in the middle by Heber City. I go to the restaurant up there, which is where the Olympics were. I don't Saddleback or something restaurant on the golf course up there. And it looks over the valley, and in the wintertime, it's magnificent. Midway is a little tiny town, and I don't know if it was Swiss people or Dutch that settled the town. And the architecture is fabulous. Has all the little things of Europe on it, and it's a fun little town. Fun. They have annual festivals up there, and it's a close-knit community, and they have multi-million-dollar now resorts up there, condos and resorts. You can't touch anything in Midway under $500,000. Can't be done. Can't be done. I've been up to one of the restaurants up there in between a marriage. I took a girlfriend up there, and I'm still making payments on that dinner, because when you run out the door, they have police there. They go, "Hey, that'll be $175. And so I'm still making $1 a month payments on that. Fabulous, fabulous place. Well, Monson says he has a second home up there. So the Mormons would go, "Oh, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean, and it doesn't matter. If he used my tithing money, I know I'm going to be blessed anyway." That's like buying a damn dead horse and saying, "It doesn't matter that the horse is dead. I can still ride it. It goes very slow, but I get on my side, and I know this horse is going to take me to heaven. Let me stuff some more money in its mouth, and it will just shake me into the celestial kingdom." Now, Mormons, get this for family home evening. It wasn't the computer's fault that I lost this. It was my fault. And I could fire myself, but I don't have anyone that can do this anymore if I'm not here. Now, take these numbers down, Mormons. My regular people are going to find this boring, but the Mormons will not come on. They will not come on to my comment site, because when I read this, they're going to look it up and say, oh, David's right. And they can't say, "Oh, it doesn't matter if he has a second or a third home." Now, let me tell you something, folks. Everybody. Monson turned to a general authority and quit his job when he was 36 years old. I think he's about 85 right now. He's never had a damn job since then. He lives on a modest stipend, and most of the apostles don't even take their money. They just give it back to the church. You stupid-ass people. Here's second home on your tithing money. A stipend is for food. I had stipends when I worked for certain government agencies, and they paid for my lunch, they paid for mileage, they would pay out-of-pocket expenses. That's a stipend. This is I can't say that word. Starts with an F. It's a salary, folks. It's not a stipend. They use that word for stupid Mormons, the rest of us out here. No, you can't buy a $383,000 house on a stipend and maintain your main residence and this residence. And in Utah, where it snows, the roof blows off, the lawns need to be mowed, they need to be watered, and in Midway, you don't let your lawn grow up. It's only full of rich people. The only people there that aren't rich have lived there their whole lives. Now, let me give you a couple of phone numbers, Mormons and non-Mormons, that you can look up. Is David lying? Monson on a stipend. Here's the recorder's office up there, the property tax system lookup in Utah. 435-657-3210. That's the recorder's office. The assessor's office, 435-657-3182. The clerk's office, 435-657-3190. Treasurer's office, 435-657-3217. Look it up or call. Here we go. Parcel number 0001-3776. Serial number OMF0-013-0-027-034. Document entry number 238204. Owner name Francis Monson and Thomas S. Monson. Thomas S. Gee, I've heard of that guy before. Oh, that's the one that talks to Jesus, and Jesus said, well, I'm going to raise your stipend up a little bit so you can buy Tax District 4, Recorder's Office acreage. It's 1.7 acres. That's a good-sized lot in Midway, and that isn't in downtown Midway. That's up where the rich people live. 2012 market value of this house is $383,734. Taxes on this property a year is $4,818.93. Now, I know Midway very well. Like I said on my other video, I wanted to buy a house in Midway, but I couldn't touch it. It's too expensive. Sir David, the Bard, couldn't afford it. And you know what? Most of you people that are looking at me, you can't afford it either. But Monson, the prophet of the Mormon Church, he can afford it, and he's been on a little modest stipend ever since he was 36 years old. But they can dip into the tithing funds of the church for loans. They can dip into the tithing funds for emergencies. I'm sure he thought a second home is an emergency. He has no kids that live with him, and he doesn't need two houses. You and I do. If you've got 7 or 8 kids, 2 houses, one of them you need to retreat in. His kids get to go to BYU for free. Do yours? Do your kids get to go to BYU for free? Or do they have to pay tuition like I did and come out with student loans? His go for free. His grandchildren go for free. He has 100% medical insurance and disability insurance and life insurance, all paid for by the church. Do you have that? Do you have that? A little tiny member paying in $200 or $300 a month, and this asshole is buying a second home in Midway, Utah with your damn tithing and laughing himself all the way to Midway in the wintertime and be in that winter wonderland. These authorities are living off of your money. They're laughing themselves all the way to the bank. Look up the damn parcel numbers. Is there anything else here you want to know? Yeah. I know Midway, and his address. You want Monson's address of his house? Here it is. 140 West Farm Road, Midway. I think I know where Farm Road is. I think that is a new tract in Midway that was put in, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. The square footage of the house is 1650. Gee, that's bigger than my house, and I'm raising 2 kids. Oh, here it is, the year it was built, 1977. So a 1977 house is worth $383,734,000 in Midway. The brief legal description is Lot 13, Midway Farms, number 1. Well, I'm going to drop by President Monson's house. I'll look at the mailbox, and I'll probably wave to him from the street. I don't know if he's there. I just might knock on the door and say, I hear the man who speaks with Jesus lives in this house, and his followers are in poverty, many of them. Some of them have Ponzi schemes, and some of them have pyramid schemes, and they work a good 2 or 5 years. But Mr. Profit, P-R-O-F-I-T, where'd you get the money for this house? You haven't had a job since you were 36 years old. That's over 40 years you haven't had a job. How'd you buy this house? Did you borrow money from the Mormon tithing fund as an emergency for a down payment? $300,000, a 10% down would be, what, $30,000? Did you have $35,000, $40,000 to close this house? Pay taxes on it out of your little stipend. That's $4,000. That's right at about $400 a month, sir, that you have to pay in taxes. Who mows the lawn? Do you go out there, fix the sprinkler system, mow the lawn? The new roof on your house, did you go out and do that? Did you paint it last year? Where do you get all the strength at 85 years old? You can barely put your ass in a chair for general conference. You don't even drive anymore. You're so demented. Is this the people's money, sir? Just a yes or a no would be just fine. Is this the second house that you mentioned in general conference? And you're laughing all over the Mormon people, and you say you're a prophet. Jesus told you to buy that home, that you needed a second home. You have a nice home down. Oh, let me give you the address where you can send your donations, okay? The address listed, the mailing address, oh my gosh, it's in Salt Lake City. 47 East South Temple. Huh? Is that the church office building? Salt Lake City, Utah, 84150-1200. Well, Mormons, please get on my comment board and go, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect my salvation. He deserves a second church. Oh, he sat on some boards once and he made some money there. They always say that we see, I'm still, half Mormon up here. Well, my butt is half Mormon. We have an unpaid clergy. Bullshit. They all make over 6-figure incomes. Every one of the general authorities, 6-figure incomes. Mormons, call. Look up this deed. I'm looking at a legal document here. What are you looking at? What evidence would a Mormon accept? If this slapped you in the face like a Mack truck and ran you over, does this document lie? Does this document lie? It's a tax document, folks. Anyway, I don't mean to belabor it. I'm just saying this. Most of us who were in the Mormon church, I was in for 50 years before I started to get a brain, and I resigned. I'm ashamed of what my kids went without when I paid my lousy $300 or $400 a month when I was younger for tithing. It built them all. It took care of these 6-figure incomes. It took care of second houses. Now, Hinckley said, Aruba, in one of his talks, he says, you probably all want to know what a prophet was doing in Aruba. I know what he was doing in Aruba. He gave himself a damn $1 million birthday party at BYU at church cost. The son of a bitch tore down the good alumni house at BYU and put up a 3-story mongoloid-looking piece of shit and put his name all over it. It wasn't Jesus Christ Building. It was Hinkster Building. He was the one that bought the $1 million salamander letter. And Hoffman's still in jail for that, and Hinckley's just laughing because it didn't cost him anything. His home in Aruba is paid for by the Mormon Church. Now, let me tell you something. I knew John Hunter. He's dead. President Howard Hunter's son. Hunter was president of the Mormon Church for, I think, about a year. Then he died. I knew John. I was up in John's house. He was in my ward in Ojai, California. Louine was his wife. And he had several kids, and they lived in a beautiful home way up on in the Oblata, but it was way up on the hill. It was a castle. They lived in a medieval castle up there, and John was funny as hell. He was a judge in Ventura, judge in a Ventura court. I don't know if it was municipal or if it was county or state, whatever. And John and I used to bullshit all the time. He was funny. He was my scout leader at one time. And he would always say, you know, David, New Caribou, Bard, Sir David, sit down and shut up. Don't climb out the window. And don't wave at the girls during scouts. Well, I didn't obey him at all. I still love the girls. You'd never turn me homosexual. Put all the electrodes on a weenie that you want. My weenie goes, no, I like vaginas. So, let me tell you why I'm telling you. I know from my own eyes and my own ears. When John, who was the son of the prophet, he and Louine had a credit card from the church. Do the children of prophets, seers, and Three Stooges actors get credit cards? I guess they do. Well, John died. He had diabetes. He had one leg amputated. Finally, his head fell off. And he's buried up here in Utah somewhere. And Louine had the credit card. She wouldn't give it back to the church. Now, sue me. If truth is a defense for libel, sue me. It's the truth. The church people know that. I know it. Louine knows it. She wouldn't give the credit card back. And she bought furniture. And she outfitted her house to make it through the rest of her life because her husband was dead. Her father-in-law was the prophet, and she had a credit card. Now, Mormons, if you're this stupid, you deserve to be poor. I regret every dollar I ever put into tithing and fast offering and saw my kids going without braces, going without certain fancy clothing that the kids were all wearing at school. My kids wore curtains, just like in what is that movie? Charlotte, I Don't Give a Damn. I can't remember shit these days. I can't remember all the things my kids went without because I paid for malls and I paid for credit cards for Louine Hunter. I paid for 6-figure incomes for the general authorities. My kids and me, we paid tuition to BYU. We don't have full health benefits. We don't have full disability benefits. We don't have free tuition and life insurance that is endless. And we don't fly around on Huntsman's Learjet. Now, that's my favorite plane to fly. I told you I had a simulator. Nobody will let me get near an airport, being bipolar. So I just crash it here with my own simulator. I love it. But I fly the Lear, as a matter of fact, out of Heber to Salt Lake. That's my favorite route, Heber to Salt Lake. And I go right over Midway. And I could look down and see and wave at Monson. What next? I always say you gotta love the Mormons. I feel so sorry for the general members of the church. They are so bamboozled, going to foreign countries on missions, sacrificing their lives, their mental and spiritual and physical strength, having many more kids than they really should because they go into poverty. All of you that are on Ponzi schemes because you can't make enough money, to support your family. All of you who are on pyramid schemes, all of you who have bought houses you can't afford and cars because you know the general authorities are rich and you want to be rich. But you know what? They're rich on your money. Now, let me not click the wrong one off. Okay. I'm going to stop, which I never do.